it's me, your pal Nerfenstein, and I have managed to narrow down my Essen picks down to a mere 10 games. It's a miracle. So I'm going to go through them with you now and let you know why I've chosen each one. And I'm also going to add a bit of a shocking twist at the end of this picks video. Let's go. So first up, you can see here we've got Runestone from Dawn, and it is a hand management and deck building game for the whole family. It comes from Queen Games. They do great family, middleweight, lightweight games, and this one looks gorgeous, which is why I've added it to my list. Who doesn't want to play a powerful druid? I know I do. As you can see, it looks gorgeous as well, so that is why it's on my list. I love a good looking game that carries over the theme well through the artwork. It's just so pretty. Look at that little throne. Who doesn't love that? So that is why Runestones is on my Essen Spiel 2019 wants list this year. It's like an ancient infinity gauntlet. Next up on my list, we've got Fairon from Catch Up Games. And who doesn't want to be the child of a pharaoh? Living your life, working hard to get to that afterlife. And that's what the theme here is. I really liked it. I love a bit of Egyptian theming in my board games. So anytime I saw it, you probably saw if you did watch my picks video, anytime an Egyptian themed game came up, I felt the need to click on it. Same with any food games or cute games or games with raccoons, badgers, sloths. I loved that Fairon's got this cool rondelle mechanism in it. It looks to really make the gameplay interesting. And look at it, it's just beautiful. Worker placement as well. I love a bit of worker placement. Can't go wrong there. And the modular board means that it's got some variability in it as well. So that means a lot of replayability. Look at it, it's just stunning. Now, the sad thing is I actually contacted the publisher of this game and it's probably not going to make its way to Australia, which is devastating. And they didn't seem to have any interest at all in selling it to me on the internet, which I found really strange. Yeah, so that's a bit sad. I'm probably not going to be playing Fairon in the near future, that's for sure. But it's on my top 10 list anyway because it's stunning. I love the look of it. That's Fairon from Catch Up Games. Yeah, I don't know if I was saying that right either. Next up on the list, we've got Yukon Airways from Ludonova, and I love the theme of this one. I haven't seen seaplane games before, but there's 2 on this list, so there's another one to come. So needless to say, you're a seaplane pilot and you're traveling around the Yukon, picking things up and dropping them off, trying to upgrade your plane and make the most money. You also get bonuses in this depending on where you draft from, and I love the dice drafting aspect as well. It's really cool, and I think the guy who made this, his granddad or his father, is an actual seaplane pilot in the Yukon. I just loved it straight away. I also love that you get to upgrade your plane, and these cool dials here, you can move them and use the switches here, which is really cool. Nice thematic touch. That is Yukon Airways. Nice. Next up, and of no surprise to anyone who knows me and my gaming taste, is Deep Blue from Days of Wonder. Days of Wonder are a publisher that I would buy their games. I didn't even need to look. I would just know that a game was coming out this year. It was Days of Wonder. Beautiful production value and usually great gameplay. I have started being a little bit more picky and looking into it a little bit more, but I still love Days of Wonder. Their production quality is just, it's so schmick each time. Not that that makes for a good game, but it does help. What was I saying about production quality? Look at these little chests that you get to put your treasure in. So Deep Blue, you go diving for treasure. And it's got a really cool mechanic where you can start a dive and someone can sort of tag team into that dive. But if they don't have as much oxygen as you, they're kind of screwed. So I really like that as well. The only thing I don't like about this, and I mentioned it in my Essen Spiel picks as a pet hate of mine, games that put the name of the game on the back of the card. I just feel like that is, you don't need that. Some nice artwork on the back there, or even a logo would have done me better. But that aside, this is looking really pretty. Look at those little boats. Who doesn't love it? I actually thought they were subs when I talked about it in my picks, but I can see now that they're little diving boats. It just looks beautiful. I'm a sucker for a pretty game, as you probably know if you watch my channel, and I love a bit of secretive bag building and push your luck. You know, am I going to get gold this turn, or am I going to get silver? I never have any luck with those games either, but I can't help myself. I love it. So that's Deep Blue from Days of Wonder. Next up, we've got Cosmic Colonies, and I love this. It's set in space. You play a space miner on your own asteroid, and you have to do your very best via some tile placement. Who doesn't love a bit of that? You can just catch there in the top corner that it's also by Scott Arms, so that immediately spurred my interest. So it features limited resources and simultaneous action selection. I love that as well, that there can be a tile sitting there that you desperately need to garner you some extra points, and the other player nabs it out from beneath your feet. And I love the artwork as well. It's pretty. It does the job for sure. It's essentially choose your worker. Depending on the number of your worker will depend on when you go. So that thing I was saying about the other player being able to nab something out from under you, and take your action, get the points, and move on to the next turn. So it's also a fairly easy game, which, as you probably know me, my tastes have changed. I've gone from playing or enjoying quite heavy games to lighter games, because I usually play with my family now, or friends that aren't really into board gaming as much as I am. Looks like a great little game. That is Cosmic Colonies. Okay, here we are looking at Nante Narking, and if you're wondering like I was, what on earth is that name about? It's not the name of the woman on the box, it's Victorian slang for having a blast, having a good time. I looked that up because I was like, it's an odd name. Now I've chosen this one for a couple of reasons, and one of them is Martin Wallace, as you can see there. Great designer, so I've had to give it a second look. And I love the theme as well, Victorian London. Look at that, look at the figures in this are beautiful. I'll just click through them for you so that you get to see them. It just looks gorgeous. The production value on it is on point. And look, although they've got the name of the game on the back of the cards here, it's just a logo. They haven't put the entire name on. And I like that as well. As I say, pet hate, and it just looks, table presence is beautiful. The artwork's really nice as well. It looks like it's going to have some really immersive and thematic gameplay. Oh, beautiful. I also looked this up, and it's coming out with some really cool upgrades. But all up, it's going to be a very expensive if you want to go that route for sure. But yeah, it's just stunning. And it looks fairly easy as well, given how busy the overall game is. That's Nante Narking, and I am hoping to have a good time with that one when it comes out. Beautiful. Next up, we've got Gara from Pythagoras, and the reason I've chosen this one, extremely fickle, I just loved the look of it. So as with Nante Narking, I looked up what Gara was because I wasn't sure, but it's a fish sauce, and that's what this game revolves around. Sounds a little bit strange, but stick with me. I love the 3D look of the board as well. It just looks beautiful. And although fish sauce doesn't sound like a very riveting theme, I think this will be great, becoming a master of that art, or that ancient art. And it just looks beautiful and cleverly done as well. You can see here the tiles. I'm assuming there's some kind of tile matching pattern building type thing going on here. It also reminded me a little bit of Istanbul. I know it's completely different, but there's just something about it, and Istanbul is one of my favorite games. So I'm hoping this will appeal to my family and friends that enjoy that game as well. It doesn't look too difficult. That's Garum or Garum from Pythagoras. Fish sauce. Next up, we've got Freshwater Fly from Bellwether Games, and although fishing doesn't sound like a very riveting theme for a board game, I've played their last game, Coldwater Crown, and it's a keeper for me forever. I loved it, so I'm hoping for something similar here. Let me just give you a quick look of this game so that you can see how beautiful it is. And the mechanics in Coldwater Crown were so clever. I really enjoyed it, and this one looks to have some kind of real mechanic here. Let me get a closer look at it for you, which I love the idea of that is going to change how your turns are going to work, or I'm assuming so anyway. It just looks beautiful on the table as well. Even if you don't like fishing, I highly recommend Coldwater Crown. I haven't played this one obviously, but I'm imagining it will be just as good. Bellwether Games, the production on it's lovely as well, and the guys that run it are really nice, which always helps. A little bit of good PR. That's Freshwater Fly from Bellwether Games. Next up, it's time to align your chakras in Chakra. Chakra from Blam. Now, I'll be honest, completely fickle again here. The reason that I was drawn to this game is just how it looks. As you can see, it's pretty. I'm a sucker for a pretty game. I know that's a bad reason to buy a game, but I'll give it a go. And I do like the theme as well. I haven't seen this theme done before. So you can see it's got some kind of set collection thing going on. So let's assume you collect the gems and align your chakra. It's so pretty. Beautiful colors as well. And gems. Got to think about gems in games. If there's gems in a game, I'm more likely to be drawn to it. That's Chakra. Look at it. It looks beautiful. I'll give that one a go. And it looks like a small box game as well. So that's good again for taking around to your friends and family. Okay, here we are with my last pick, my top 10, and it's Wayfinders from Pandasaurus Games. And you can see it's another seaplane game. What's the chances? 2 coming out at once. Now, unlike Yukon Airways, Wayfinders looks, well, it's Pandasaurus. So you know it's going to be a little bit of a softer game. There's not going to be anything too brain draining here. But I do like the theme of sort of island hopping and setting up new airports on the islands that you visit, making the other players able to go there for free, but not gain the victory points for setting up the airport. And I like it comes with these little hangars and the little planes as well. And look at the production quality. I mean, they look like plastic tokens. They look like they're geek bits, like they've been upgraded. Really, really nice. Yeah, so there's a little bit of push your luck here as well, you can see. And worker placement, I just like the look of it. It looks easy on the table as well. It's nothing that's going to scare your mates away. So that is Wayfinders. That's the last of my top 10. I can't believe I got here. I expected it to be a top 20. I'm actually quite stunned. Here's some of the others that I had on my list that didn't quite make it. Some of them I'm quite sad about, like Artemis Project looks so schmick. Old Masters looks nice as well. Cooper Island. But I've chosen this top 10 for various reasons, and my top reason is I want to play games. I don't want to buy them and have them sit on my shelf, and I've done that with a lot of games, a lot of big games that sort of scare off the people that I generally play with. So I've learnt a bit of a lesson there that I've come to realise after a bit of soul searching, and this is a twist that I mentioned at the start of this video, that I want to play games. And for that reason, my twist this year for my Essen picks is I'm probably not going to rush out and buy any of the games that are on this list. Now, this is no judgment against anyone who goes out and buys a truckload of games. You do you. I'm glad for you. I used to do that, but over the last year or so, I've come to realize that a game is literally just a box of junk if it sits on your shelf. A game is made to be played, and if it isn't being played, like I say, it's just a box of junk sitting on your shelf. And there's just so many games on my shelf that I haven't played. So many, guys. There's so many. And I find that kind of overconsumption of me spending money when other people might not be able to afford it, and just for them to sit gathering dust on my shelf, I find it makes me feel a little bit sick. That's not who I am as a person. So the fact that I've done that, I kind of feel a little bit sick of myself. So I've done my top 10 because I'm still super excited and super pumped for games from Essen this year. You can see I have got a lot on my interested list, and I would play these in a second, but I'm not going to rush out and buy them like I usually would. I really want to get through the games that I already own that are just gathering dust on my shelf. Don't let that bring you down though. I want to hear what you're excited for Essen. Just because I'm not buying a bootload of games doesn't mean you can't, and I would love to hear what you buy or what you're hoping to buy from Essen this year. It's still my dream to go to Essen. It's on my bucket list, and I'm sure I'll get to go one year, and who knows, maybe by then I will want to purchase some more games like a lunatic collector over a gamer. As always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, do an old bird a favour. It's tough being an old bird on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and we will talk all manner of geek. Take care and enjoy Essen. Nerfenstein out. Oh my goodness.